Hi, welcome back to my channel. It has been a long time. There has been so much going on, so much traveling. I got sick. I had to take one of my wisdom teeth out. It has been a lot. But today we're gonna have a fun little fall reading vlog. I don't know why, but I put like 30 books in my full TBR. I put on the screen here so you can see that I went crazy with the books that I wanted to read this fall. And I looked it up and fall ends on December 21st, but for me, that's just Christmas and winter. Even though I don't experience winter or fall, I just pretty much, it's summer here all year long. So, anyways, I am a fall girly in a spirit, but I put way too many books and I've been trying to get my way through them. So I thought we should do a little reading vlog. I have read so far like 5 books, and now I am in the middle of one of those reads, and it is made by Ali Hazelwood. I am just like 42 pages into this book, like literally not all that much, but I am so far enjoying it. This has been one of my most anticipated releases ever since I found out that she was going to do like a sequel novel to Bride. I gave Bride 4.5 stars, and this one, it's kind of gonna be the same or maybe even a 5 star, but we are not gonna jinx that. So let's get cozy and let's read my full TBR. It is hot as balls. It is like almost 80 something degrees, like almost 90, and I I would love to be the type of person that can experience fall and be on 60 something degree weather. But alas, I'm not. I live on a tropical island and it is summer from January to December. I just want some cold. I love the cold. I love being in hoodies and sweaters, but I can't experience that. But we are going to ignore that and we're going to pretend it's fall girl weather, even though, as I said, it's like 90 degrees. But I am on page 85 of Mate, and now we're getting more of the gist of the story. There has been like an overall plot since Bright, which is like we're trying to connect the werewolves and the vampires and the humans, and we have a lot of conflict with that. But there is something else with Serena in this book that has me like very curious. I don't have any like theories of what's happening to her or anything because I don't read that many like Omegaverse or whatever. Like I don't read many wolfish books, so I don't know what to expect. But I'm enjoying it. I love their banter. I love Cohen. Like I just love me a grumpy man. I love me a grumpy man, a sarcastic man, a closed off man. I don't know, it may speak to some dad issues or something, but I just love me. That's like my favorite trope. But I'm excited to see how this one goes, and I will probably update you later or tomorrow. But I'm gonna continue reading this one. I want to get this done before Friday or on Friday because I want this to be like my last book of the month and the last book of spooky season. So I'm gonna try and at least read like 100 something pages a day until Friday. Let's see how that goes. Hi, it is currently the next day, and I am now 152 pages into Mate. I am not even halfway, but I might be getting there today. Anyways, I need Cohen like I need air to breathe. Oh my god, this man is so down bad. And I mean, from the title and everything, well, they are mates. But I love that he just doesn't try to force himself upon her. Like, for example, in Akotar, like Lucian and Elaine are mates, and he just kind of tries to like be with her all the time and everything, and she just doesn't feel it. But here, Cohen is just very careful to not be forceful upon Serena. Like, they have such incredible banter, and they are perfect for each other. But like, he doesn't want to force himself upon her because she didn't ask to be someone's mate. So I just love him. I love their banter. I love his sarcasm. I love him. He's incredible. Mr. I want a kiss on the cheek Cohen. I'm not with this. I'm not with this. This is so good. And I want to get about halfway through this book today. I think I can get it done. Hi, it's been a couple hours. I washed my car. I then had to shower because I was so disgusting. So I went and washed my hair because honestly, I was so sweaty. That was such a workout. But I rewarded myself with a pumpkin spice latte, as you saw. I love this pumpkin spice. I don't want it to be over because I know that once like November hits or November is almost ending, they're gonna take all the pumpkin spice away. But this is so incredibly good. I am not a fan of pumpkin, but there have been some things this fall that I have loved, and one of them is their pumpkin spice latte, either hot or cold. And I made a pumpkin bread that I have been missing so much. I had to make it 3 times because my boyfriend loved it, my mom loved it, and I had to make it for her work, and everyone loved it. So I want to try and make that again. We'll see. But this is incredibly good. I gonna finish this drink. I'm gonna eat because I wanted to go and buy myself a triple dipper, but they didn't take my credit card in the online payment, and I didn't want to go into a restaurant to pay. So I was like, this is my signal that I should not be spending any more money, and I have food at home that my mom made. So I will just eat that food, drink my pumpkin spice, and continue reading Mate by Ali Eastwood. The last line that I read about this book, god damn it, like, I need a werewolf right now. I need a werewolf right the fuck now. I don't make the rules. Hi, we have a change in location. I am now in my boyfriend's apartment for the weekend, and I am now over halfway through Mate. I'm like 60% through this book, and we finally found out what was going on with Serena. I mean, again, because we had like an explanation for what was happening to her, but now it seems like it wasn't that and it's something else. But that something else is kind of like so unhinged and so unserious that I'm like, I would have preferred like the first answer to that problem and like we find a cure than what we ended up going with because it just seems so unserious. Like I what the hell? Like what the hell? But I'm still enjoying this book. I still love Cohen. I need him like an air to breathe. I absolutely love this yearning man. But as I said, I'm very close to finishing it. We'll see if I finish it today, but if not, I will most definitely finish it tomorrow. And I also bought another book for my full TBR. This one is, I don't know if I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna try and read like the first 2 pages and see if I'm feeling this book because I'll explain to you in a little while. The book is Catabasis by R.F. Kwan. This is a deluxe edition. It is honestly so pretty. I had a pre-order for this because I loved like the premise of the story and the cover and everything. But I recently, I think last month, read The Poppy War, at least the first book, and I don't know if I love it or hate it. Like the story was good. I just think it was the way it was written because in every single chapter there was so much info dumping that I couldn't grasp the whole story. I don't think I fully understood what we were going with. Like everything was just so jumbled up in my brain and I felt a little bit slumpy after I finished that book. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this one. I don't think this is as epic fantasy as that one. So I'll think I'll enjoy it more probably, but we'll see. If I don't end up wanting to read this book, I still have a lot of dark romances on my Kindle that are on my full TBR. So we'll see what I end up reading after I finish May. But first, we need to finish this bad boy up. happy Halloween to anyone who celebrates, even though you are gonna see this on a Halloween. So, but it's Halloween. Anyways, I have just finished Made by Ali Hazelwood, and we are kind of matching me and the book. But I decided to give this one a solid 4.5 stars, just like Bride. I had a great time. I love Cohen. I absolutely adore him, and the epilogue made my heart so happy because it was in his point of view, and you could see just how much he loves Serena, and everything was just so wholesome. I just love him so much, and I love them, and I really like enjoy their characters separately, but like together also. Like they had such great banter. I love Serena's humor because it's kind of like mine. I just really enjoy almost everything about this book. The things that I did not enjoy, the first one, I don't think I will ever get used to the fact that in these books they are like nodding, and whenever he was like, take my knot, and I was like, no, no, I'm gone. I actually don't want to be reading this. So I wasn't feeling that, and I also wasn't feeling the fact that when we first started this book, there is something happening with Serena, like health issues, and you think it's something, and when it gets explained that it's not that disease that she had, it's this other thing, that thing was so unserious and so unhinged and like so out of pocket that I kind of would have preferred that she had a disease and we found a cure rather than that. That it was so unserious and so out of the left field. I was like, what are we doing here? And I also feel like it dragged a little bit. Like there was a little bit like 60%, something like that, in those parts of the story. Like it kind of dragged a little bit, and we had an interesting plot once we figured out like what was happening in this world, but I feel like we dragged it a little bit and I wasn't a fan of that. So this could have been like maybe 50 pages shorter, but yeah. Anyways, I don't know if I'm gonna pick up Catabasis or another Kindle read today. It's 5 o'clock, and I don't know. I don't know right now. I'm not feeling like starting another book. Maybe I do really want to read the second book in the Hollow Boy series. I read the first one like last week, and I'm really itching to read that book. So I don't know if I'll read that one or Catabasis or maybe both. Who the hell knows? I will let you know. Let's talk a little bit of updates. I have been reading practically all day, and I have been doing other things like washing clothes, TV, and everything. But I am now 30% of the way through in The Truth to Burn by Monty J, the second book of the Hollow Boy series. If I didn't know that this was the second book in a series, I wouldn't believe you if you told me this was from the same like author, because it is so much better than book one. I love Rook. I love Sage. I love them separately. I love them together. I love their dynamic. I am so excited to continue reading this book. With the first book, I felt like it dragged on. I wasn't like itching to pick that book up. But with this one, I just want to be reading this one. I want to know what happened. I want to know what happens in the future because right now we are on the past like timeline with them. And it doesn't jump from like past and present. We're just strictly in the past. So I'm so excited to see what happens. And I'm just so happy. I didn't think a dark romance could make me like this giddy, but we learn new things. And I also started Catabasis by Arc 1. I haven't gotten like very far into it or at all. I have just read like 30 pages of this book. It is just not as easy to read because her writing, if you have read any of her books, is just more like professional. I don't know, like academic. She uses so much big words. She uses so many big words that I don't know the meaning of. But I still like her writing. Like I have underlined a couple of things. but it is not as easy to get into as a dark romance, as a little dark romance. So I have not read many of this book today. I don't know if I'll read more of this, but I think I'll just get through this one slowly, or at least until like the 100-page mark where I can get more into the story. But we'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna pop a movie and read, or if I'm just gonna strictly read this book. But we'll see. Wild Saturday night plans. But this is a life, and I'm gonna be working soon, so who knows how much time to read I'll get. So I'm excited for these little moments in life, and I'll catch up to you probably tomorrow. So long time no see. It is now Tuesday, and I think I last spoke to you on Saturday. I have since then finished The Truth Sweeper by Monty J, and I give this one a 4.25. I love this book so much. I think it is my highest rated dark romance. And I mean that in the sense where like the MMC is very questionable because I did rate the Mindfuck series 5 stars, but like that isn't as dark I think as some of these books are, and like the MNC wasn't like kind of like a psychopath sometimes. So I think this is like my favorite dark romance today, and I'm so happy because I was starting to feel like maybe dark romance wasn't for me, and I wanted it to be for me so bad. But I think I kind of just like some of these stories, and I like these authors like way of writing these stories. I enjoy the plot of this one so much. I thought that we were gonna like wrap up the overall plot of these books in the first book or two books, but I think it's gonna be like an overall plot line in the background between the romances. So I'm very excited to see how that one goes because it is very very like not creepy, but I have read books like that. The Edge of Darkness trilogy has kind of a subplot in that, so I'm very excited to see how we like get the bad guys out. And I love Rook, I love Sage, I love their relationship, I love how we got to see the tension. So much tension, so much heartache. I love them. I like this was so much better than book one. It doesn't even feel like it's in the same series. But I'm so excited for the next books to come. The next duet is it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. And I'm excited because all of the other characters get one book, but this one gets two. And I found one of the tropes that this book has, and I'm just so giddy over a dark romance. Am I unhinged? Maybe. Also, I haven't really read much of Katabasis. I picked it up today again, and I am now on page 65, which is like 10% of the book. And I don't know if I'm gonna keep continuing reading that in this blog. If I can try and finish it or make a dent in it by this week, I'll keep it in this blog. But if not, I think I'll just wrap it up and you'll find out soon. But we'll see. I haven't really made a dent in that story. We are just like in the surface level of it, so we'll see how that one goes. But I will try and do a better job of updating if I continue reading that book. Hi, long time no see. It is now Friday, and I am over halfway through Calabasas by Art of Porn. And I don't know what kind of updates to give you, which is why I haven't given like anything because this is a very like character driven story rather than a plot driven story, in my opinion. Because I know that we are in hell and we're just kind of going through hell with them, but there isn't a lot of action. Like, yes, we have been in some courts in hell and there have been some things happening, some things we have been finding out and everything, but mostly I just think it is us going through the things that Alice is going through and her mind and everything, because Alice is this girl, is her main character, and it's only her POV, but she is this girl that she needs academic validation, like she needs air to breathe. Like she has sacrificed so much because she wants to feel important. She wants to feel like every sacrifice she makes is gonna like pay off with her work. She wants to be the greatest of all time. She wants to have the greatest professors of all time, the difficult professors. She wants to be like the teacher's pet. She wants everything. And it is a little rough because right now we are in a part of the story where she literally just felt like she needed to to do
her professor to like getting his good graces, because the way people talk about this professor, he's like the worst of the worst. Like he's annoying and he really doesn't truly care about his students and not about teaching. But like when you are in her mind and when you get like flashbacks and everything that she does and says and like how she acts just to be this perfect student that people will not like her, but maybe it's more like she is so based on being the perfect person for her professor, for her advisor, that she just kind of distances herself from everything in her life. Like she does not eat, she does not sleep. She is just concentrated in this goal in her mind. And it is sometimes sad to see how she thinks. And it is an interesting book. It is an interesting book, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I'm the right demographic for this because one, sometimes I don't understand what the hell they're talking about with the like historical text and mathematics and logistics and whatever. And also, I have never been that girl that sacrifices her entire life for school or anything. So I'm not like in the right demographic, but I still enjoy this book. I think it will probably be like a 3 star, but honestly, it is so sad. I think I'll later show you some of the quotes that I've underlined because I like the writing of this one in some parts. And whenever it is not like making me feel dumb, but that's the update. I hope to finish it by tomorrow, maybe, because I have a busy couple of days. So I don't want to edit this video and get it out and maybe do bookmarks. That's another thing. So I'm gonna continue reading this one, and I'll later show you some of my favorite quotes because it does have some beautiful quotes that make you think. So honestly, I feel kind of horrible, but I just wanted to give my latest update, and that is that I finished Katabasis by Art of Plum. I'm gonna give it a solid 3 star. I don't think it was for me, but I can see why other people love it. I saw Mariana, can I speak? I saw her give it like 4.5 stars, but I just felt so dumb at times reading this. Like I didn't really know what we were talking about most of the time. I did like the Greek mythology aspect of this book because I took some classes in college and I could understand like the lore behind the character that was mentioned. But most of the time, I was just feeling dumb. I felt like we were going over and over again over some explanations. Like I couldn't see the point in it, and I just feel like for 500 pages, not a lot happened, and I was just bored sometimes. I was feeling dumb and I was bored, and I just it wasn't for me. But I liked some of the writing whenever I wasn't feeling dumb. I really felt for our characters. I just didn't connect to them because I didn't need academic validation the way they needed it and the way they did. Like I don't think I will ever do the things that they did for academic validation because I am just not built that way. So I wasn't like the right demographic, I will say, but I still enjoyed it. I just don't feel like it was for me, and that's okay. But I wanted to show you some quotes that I really enjoyed because not everything was bad. I did underline quite a bit of this book, but it was just kind of like the premise was interesting. Like I really liked the premise, and that's why I pre-ordered this book. But the execution wasn't what I expected, I would say. But the first quote that I underlined that I wanted to show you was: "Ghosts linger around the viewing pavilion because they were too enraptured with scenes from a lifetime, because they, in turn, were entranced and obsessed with the rituals of the living. They wanted to know what everyone was up to. They wanted to see whether they'd been remembered. All the ghost stories were wrong. Hauntings were so rarely malicious. The dead only wanted to feel included." On the whole, the dead were not typically eager to move on. They needed time to process their memories, their regrets, their wishes. Some stayed in hopes of reuniting with loved ones before they sought reincarnation together. Some didn't believe in reincarnation at all. Some waited in the fields forever out of conviction that the great resurrection was coming, and that they need not only sink into a stupor and wait for the end times. Others remained out of sheer terror of what the rest of hell may hold, for an eternity of boredom was better than the punishments they deserved. Who were you without your memories, your background, your relationships, your station? What if your lot in the next life was far worse than the life you just left? It didn't matter that in theory, souls enjoy infinite lives and infinite chances to experience things good and bad. From the subjective perspective of the soul, reincarnation was no different from death. At the end of the day, human beings prefer the predictable order of their known bureaucracies, whatever, however you say that. One sins took on meaning in the concept of their moral universe, comprised of their loved ones, their idols, their rivals, their victims. One was hurt most by what one knew. So perhaps they should have expected then, for hell to take on a most familiar landscape, Gothic towers, courtyard walls, and winding between them. A single paved path, just wide enough for pedestrians and cyclists, not wide enough for cars. You always knew, stepping into such places, what they were for. You knew precisely where you were from the uniformity of design, the same shades of brick and stone across buildings. You knew from the lack of wide streets and shop signs, from the quiet absence of children. You knew from the arched gates that marked the boundary, fiery gates signaling departure. The mundane world ended here. These were not places of leisure or business. These were places to be still, to think, and to step out of time. Hell is a campus. Theirs was not a world of learned men. It had no attention for sustained inquiry. Inquiry? The people of their age only wanted tabloids, gossip, entertainment. Civilizational collapse, impending apocalypse. They forgot the greatness of their forefathers. They were trapped in pointless little debates. They could not get out. No one knew how to think anymore. And if you can constantly reinvent yourself, cut away the parts of you that shame or hurt you, then how could you ever come to really know someone else? Were people all just living paradoxes, keeping up an illusion just long enough to survive contact with others? Were people then all a series of lies in the end? And so perhaps it was entirely possible, common even, for you to look into the eyes of someone you've been falling in love with, someone you had spent every waking moment with, whose breathing sounded as familiar as your own, and failed to recognize them at all. Because it hurts to be human, I'm sure. Hurts to be reminded what you don't have anymore. Better to erase yourself bit by bit until you are only what you need in the present moment. We all do it, even the living. Alice didn't find it so awful. Why wouldn't everyone strip away the parts of themselves that caused them pain? She liked to learn that trick, she thought. If she could sift through that mess in her head, pull out the files that kept torturing her, and burn them. Every small humiliation, every shred of guilt, if only she could unclutter her mind so that all that was left was the elements that she wanted to keep, the burning core, the hunger for knowledge, the skills to gain it. Because if she so much without the burdens of personhood, who would wash away the rest? Like it had some beautiful quotes, and there was a really good representation, or like not good, but there was some representation of depression. But yeah, 3 stars, just 3 stars. So that will be all for this cozy fall reading blog, reading my fall TBR, which is still really long, but at least we got some books out of the way. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. These books are linked on my Beneable, which is linked down below. As all of my socials are, my Goodreads, my Instagram, my TikTok, everything. And maybe I'll see you on Bookmax.